Helton.
Oh, hey Melanie, what's up?
Nothing much. How are you?
Good. I'm actually just taking some photos, gonna send it back to some family and friends back home. It's a pretty good view.
Very nice. Definitely enjoy this view as well.
Yeah.
Are you ready for your 73 questions?
I guess I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
All right, let's get started then. What's your Notre Dame introduction?
Hi, my name is Helton Rodriguez. I'm a current junior here, majoring in biology, pre-med. Born and raised in DC, and Alumni Hall is my home. Go Dogs.
Why did you choose Notre Dame?
It's kind of cliche, but it just kind of felt right. It was never like my top choice or my dream school, but when I ended up visiting a whole bunch of schools, and I was visiting Notre Dame, it just felt like I belonged here.
Are you happy you chose ND?
Yeah, I have absolutely no regrets about it. I think in the beginning there were some questions and concerns as to what if I went to another school, but now there's none of that, and I'm glad that I ended up where I am.
1 to 10, how similar is Notre Dame to the movies such as Rudy?
I think I'd say like an 8 is pretty accurate. I think that maybe it looks a little too old school and traditional, but for the most part it's pretty good.
If you had to choose a song to describe your college experience, what would it be?
I love college. Yeah, that's a pretty good
That's
one.
a good one. What's your favorite thing about Notre Dame?
I think probably, again, it sounds cliche, but the people I've met here, the community aspect, and the school spirit, and just traditions in general.
Where are we right now?
So right now we're actually around St. Mary's Lake. It's one of 2 lakes that we have here on campus, and we're just at a spot where we can see a good part of campus. You can see the main building, or the Golden Dome, and the top of Basilica, and this is one of my favorite lakes that I just like to run or walk around.
Would you say this is your favorite place on campus?
I would say probably top 3. This is definitely my favorite spot to just kind of relax and, you know, if I have the time, just kind of enjoy campus's beauty while I still can.
What's a Notre Dame stereotype that holds true?
That everybody here is either very, very single or very much in a relationship.
Fair. Rate your dining hall experience 1 to 10.
I'd say a 9.5. I'm not too picky, not too high maintenance, but there's been some days where it's just been too bad.
Best dining hall on campus?
South.
I'd have to disagree there, but you're entitled to your opinion. What's the worst thing you've eaten in the dining hall?
Actually, just the other day, I got bread with my pasta, but the bread was like as stale as a hockey puck, so that wasn't too appetizing.
Go-to place for late night snacks?
Probably La Fun, and then I'll either go to the Huddle and get whatever chips or, you know, candy I want, or I'll go down to the basement and I'll get some Taco Bell / Pizza Hut.
La Fun or Duncan Student Center?
La Fun.
What clubs are you involved in on campus?
One of the main things I'm involved in is just kind of, it's not necessarily a club, but a lot of things in the dorm, so being like sister dorm commissioner or in charge of merchandise for the dorm, but also I'm part of BSA and LSA and Arabic club, and I think that's it, yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Out of the clubs, I would probably say LSA. Actually, yeah, I'll say LSA, because they have a lot of fun events, and they actually have a really fun dance that they put on every year. But I really do love just being with the guys in the dorm and kind of putting on events with them.
Who's your ride or die on campus?
I would probably have to say either my friend Gabriella, who I met like the first week of freshman year, and we've been best friends ever since, or this group chat of like 15 people from all around campus, and we've just all kind of solidified as like a little family. So they're all pretty good, but most people here on campus are really loyal friends.
Without Greek life on campus, do you experience FOMO?
So Alumni Home, my dorm, is actually the only dorm with Greek letters, because it spells out, Delta Omega Gamma spells out DOG, and that's our mascot, the dogs. So despite the fact that we're like stereotyped as a frat dorm or like a party dorm, I don't think I have any FOMO or that I'm missing out on anything from other schools that have Greek life, especially because all the dorms here act as sororities or fraternities.
What makes your dorm better than the rest?
Well, I can go on and on about why I love alumni and how the guys are great, and even just like hall staff or anybody who works with like an official title in the dorm. But at the end of the day, like it's not just like my dorm, it's my home. And yeah, it's just, we have great events, we have great dances, location's amazing. Go alumni.
Favorite dorm tradition?
Wake Week. It's a big week-long celebration. You actually can't know what happens during Wake Week until you've experienced it yourself, but that is definitely my favorite tradition.
What's the best SYR theme your dorm has had?
I think freshman year we had a SYR that was sporty attired and newly retired. That was pretty good. I wore like a big inflatable sumo costume, and you would see people wearing like tracksuits or whatever, and then right next to them someone with like dyed great hair, and they just looked like a grandma. So that was a fun one.
How do you feel about Notre Dame's dorm life / culture?
I think when you don't know Notre Dame and you haven't experienced it, it definitely does sound pretty stupid or a little, I don't want to say cultish, but definitely like, why would anybody want to stay in a dorm? Why would anybody want to do any of this? But I think honestly it's one of the best things that I could possibly do, and you really do get to meet a lot of friends and make family here.
Which dorm throws the best parties?
I might be a little biased, but I would say alumni has a good time, but to each their own.
How often do people party at ND?
It kind of depends. Some people go out maybe once a month. Some people can go out like Wednesday to Saturday. It really just depends on, what's your taste.
What's a typical ND party outfit?
For the girls, there's a wide variety. I don't understand. It just girls always look great. They have great fashion taste. Guys, I feel like it's just jeans, some pants, put on a casually nice shirt, and yeah, that's it.
How late do ND parties run?
If they're on campus, they end around 2 a.m. If they're off campus, I've been to parties that like ended at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Depends.
What kind of alcohol would Notre Dame be? A fine wine, scotch, beer, or tequila?
I would say fine wine, only because there's a saying here that's, the next 4 for the next 40. Basically saying that Notre Dame, while you're only here on campus for 4 years, it's going to be a part of your life for the rest of your life. And, as I've been on campus, and I'm sure as will happen after I'm an actual alum from the university, I'll just learn to love it more, and, it'll become more and more of a part of who I am as a person.
What's the latest you've ever stayed in the library?
It was an all-nighter that ended up me leaving so that I could eat lunch. So there you go.
Does not sound fun. How true do you think the work hard, play hard mentality is here?
Definitely. It's Notre Dame is definitely one of the places where you will find the most, high achieving, like hard-working students. But it's also the people who love to scream their heads off and dance and just have fun and live in the moment.
What's your favorite study spot on campus?
I would probably say the Ode section in Hesburgh Library, because I'm a big social person. So even if I don't, have full conversations with them, it's good to just see friends walk by me while I'm studying and kind of wave at them. Yeah, that's probably my favorite spot.
Do you like a social or silent study place?
Social.
Are you sleep deprived?
I think first 2 years of college, definitely. But this year we've been doing better. We finally learned some time management skills, and I think I'm getting enough sleep now.
How many hours of sleep do you get?
It depends. This week was midterms week, so I kind of averaged around 4 or 5. But for the most part, I've been getting an average closer to 8. So
that's good. It's been a rough week. How often do you do homework a week?
Pretty much Sunday to Thursday. if I still have the motivation, I'll do homework on Friday. But usually Friday and Saturday, I try not to do anything.
Who's the best professor you've had so far?
I would probably say Professor P. Claus. He was my writing and rhetoric professor freshman year, and he made the class interesting, and he really actually taught us. But even just as a person, like I've met his wife, I've had dinner at his place, I've played with his cats. He's a very heartwarming guy, and even it's 2 years since I've had his class, and we message each other on Facebook and email, and he gives me movie recommendations, and I tell him songs to listen to. So he's an amazing person.
What's your best tip for juggling school and a social life?
You're not going to be able to do it all, and that's okay. But when you are doing it, whether it's studying or cramming for an exam, or being at a party, or I don't know, listening to music with your friends, make the most of it and be fully present.
1 to 10, how attractive do you think Notre Dame students are?
I would. Well, a couple guys just ran by and they said 10. So we got a lot of athletic people here on campus. So we'll say average 10. Average 10.
Hookups or ships? What's the dating culture like?
Like I said, it's very, very. You're either single or you're in a relationship. I feel like it's most colleges. You either do it or you don't. So.
Do you feel the ring by spring pressure?
I don't. I don't see myself, proposing to anybody before graduation. But definitely don't feel the pressure.
1 to 10, how would you rank Notre Dame's school spirit?
10. Beyond the scale, without any question of it.
What's your favorite sporting team to watch here?
I gotta say football, but I feel like that's a little stereotypical or cliche. So I will say the ND women's soccer team absolutely crushes it, and I have a lot of friends on the team, and they're the sweetest people I've ever met. Notre Dame volleyball team is also really good, and basketball team, women's basketball, is amazing too.
Favorite Notre Dame tradition?
The final scream is pretty good. Love that, where we all go in front of Hess and we'll just scream as loud as we can right before finals week, because we're all stressed. Or what's another one? Maybe just all our chants and all the little fun things we do during the actual football games.
How much do you walk on campus a day?
Well, even just walking around the lake, that's a mile in of itself. But even on the days where I'm just going to class, definitely at least 10,000 steps, because I'll be going back and forth, or I'll try to meet friends for coffee in between classes and stuff. So at least 10,000 easy.
Do people use bikes, skateboards, or scooters?
All of the above. Yeah.
How athletic do you think the ND student body is, from Heisman to B team inter-hall sports?
Heisman. You can see there's been a lot of people running around the lake. So even if they're not, D1 athletes, a lot of people here just do, the dorm sports, or even, anytime you go to the lake, you're always going to see people running around. So I'd say campus is pretty in shape, pretty athletic.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with that one. Do you feel like you have to dress up for class, or do you think it's okay to dress down?
I never feel the pressure to dress up. However, when it gets colder and in the winter, I definitely just put on my favorite hoodies, and I don't want to have to, try to look good. But when it's, a normal day, some days I'm let's look a little nicer. But I never feel pressure to put on a good outfit.
Typical temperature during the winter?
I would say it definitely gets below 0 pretty often. But I'd say average is 20, 30, probably, I think. Yeah.
Best tip for surviving South Bend winters?
It sounds really, really bad. Pretty soon you do get used to it, and it sucks, but at the same time, I would rather be too cold and I can cuddle up in my favorite jackets and hoodies than be too hot and I'm not gonna take my shirt off in the middle of class. So it's not that bad.
What's an essential item to bring to campus when you move in?
if I had to only pick one, I would say bring the most comfortable blanket and or pillow that you have, because despite how stressful a day is, every time I get in my bed, I just cuddle up in my blanket and everything is fine. Everything is fine. Especially when it's cold too. It's nice.
How often do you leave campus?
This year I've started to like leave campus and go to the grocery store. But for the most part, I never really do. Anything I need is on campus. I'll leave for like parties and stuff, or I've gone to the movie theater a couple times, but I don't really leave campus too much.
Fill in the blank. If I had known blank about Notre Dame, I would have never chosen it.
I don't think it's so much if I knew something about Notre Dame, but if I knew what my life would have been like had I gone to another school. Like I said, I don't have any regrets, and I never, think about transferring out of here. But, who's to say maybe there was another school that I would have had a better time at, but, I'll never know that, and I honestly do love Notre Dame with my entire heart, so I'm not complaining.
Most embarrassing thing you've ever seen anyone do on campus?
I think it was like freshman year, I think spring semester. I was in South Dining Hall, and there was a wet floor sign. And there was this guy who was carrying a big tray. I think he was like going to throw it away, but he had like soup and he had his like juice and whatever else on the tray. And he didn't trip like on the wet floor, but he tripped on the wet floor sign itself. Ended up spilling on this like poor girl that was walking past him, and she was drenched in juice and all of the guys' leftover dinners. So it was just it was hard to watch that go down.
Yeah, big yikes. Have you ever seen a celeb on campus?
Yeah, a lot of celebrities will come to our football games. I know like Bon Jovi's been here, and the band Chicago. I think like Taylor Swift's brother went here, or like comes back. I don't know. I've never. Oh, actually, there's been a couple concerts that they'll have for here, and I gave Bryce Vine my necklace and my Santa hat, which he wore during the concert, and he still has them. So
wow.
I was a lot of celebrities come to campus.
Do you have a favorite alumni?
I'm gonna say no, just because they're all very great, and I don't wanna have to pick favorites, but they're all pretty good.
Good answer. How often do you see Father Jenkins, the Notre Dame president, around campus?
Honestly, not too often. I think I've seen him a total of like 3 times. So maybe average once a year.
Who's your favorite priest on campus?
So the number 1 spot goes to Father George Rosen, who was the rector of Alumni Hall for 41 years. He retired after my freshman year, but also Father Dan Grudy, Father Jerry, Father Gil Stoy, a lot of priests. Those are all from alumni, but there's a lot of other priests on campus who have all been really great. But they have mainly just been really cool guys.
Do you think you've met a future millionaire?
I know so. Even like from business to like future doctors to like everything, everyone here is so hardworking and like genuine good people that I could see them being very successful.
Do the majority of kids on campus want to change the world or want to be millionaires?
I think a lot of people want to change the world, and there's something to be said about not everybody is going to be able to cure cancer or solve world hunger or do anything like that. But even just like the genuine nice people, like everyone here is very smart, but they're humble. Everyone here is very hardworking, but they're also like they just have like a free spirit to them. And so even if they're not changing the world in like some way that'll put them in history books, they all do make a difference, even in just like in their friend groups, and I know with their families back home. So I think people here want to make a difference, but they already kind of have, so that's cool.
Do you think ND is academically competitive, or do we help each other out?
It's never competitive unless it's like with yourself. So I'm constantly like, dang it, like I want to do better on this exam than I did on the last, but it's never oh, I want to do better so that I can do better than the other people in this class. And for every single semester, every single class, I've made group chats with people in the class, and we'll study together. If we're doing homework and we just don't understand, we'll text each other. So everyone here, like I said, is very nice, and they're always willing to help each other out.
Do most graduates you know have jobs?
Yeah, I think every single one I know does have a job. Yeah.
Number one tip for success at ND?
Figure out what's important to you. So say like academic success is like your number one goal. Like that's your thing. Say, you know, being a very good friend and having really good people around you, like that's your number one thing. Like, all right, do that. Putting yourself out there when it comes to your music or your athletics, or, you know, really striving over getting internships or job offers, like all that. Like really find out what's important to you, because again, you're not going to be able to do it all, but the things that you do, give it your all. And, you know, stop worrying about like I should be here, or like what if I did this, and just kind of accept what is happening, and, you know, be prepared, and, you know, take your future seriously, but don't always stress out. You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
That's good advice. If you could be a building on campus and have it named after you, what would it be? A dorm, athletic complex, academic building, anything else?
I think we need a third student center, and I think it'd be fun to just have it like just games, like a arcade area, maybe some bowling, maybe, I don't know, some basketball courts and stuff. I think it'd just be cool to have another student center, and I'd want that named after me.
Very cool. Should everyone watching apply to Notre Dame?
Yes, 100%. Even if like it wasn't my dream school, and here we are, and like I genuinely could not imagine being anywhere else, or like why I would think another school is better than mine, which like maybe sounds a little egotistical, but it's just because I truly do love Notre Dame. And I just kind of applied just to apply, and had Notre Dame rejected me, then, you know, I would have known, and I just would have moved on to another school. But I got my acceptance, and then I really started to, you know, look into the school and what it offered, and came to visit, and I fell in love. So you never know, this might end up being your dream school after it not being your dream school. So definitely apply.
All right, well, thank you so much for answering all my questions today, Helton. That's all I have for you.
Of course, thank you. I'm gonna go finish my walk around the lake, but it was great talking with you.
All right, see you later.
Bye.